Hello, this is day 37 of the Daily Spark questions. So this one says, where do I confuse familiarity with safety? Look at this little bunny. Forgive my mess, but he loves this swatch of fabric. So cute. I say I heard something, and if it's this guy, then we've got problems. Yeah, you be good. To pee on things. Yeah, forgive the mess. This is a whole thing right now. I'm working on it. I'm working on making it worse. So, where do I confuse familiarity with safety? I think in my past, I've confused familiarity with unsafety. Like the familiar was unsafe. And maybe that's why I always, started a hot flash. Maybe that's why I've always been one to want to run toward other things, like away from the present situation where I'm living, who I'm around, whatever. So maybe I've confused it with unsafety because, by now you probably can guess, like my childhood was very unsafe, very unsafe. And now, so it's like I didn't trust familiarity. Hey, you be good. And I didn't trust it. Like, I didn't trust being settled in one place over a long period of time. I was like, something in me, it didn't feel right to be in one place. And even in jobs, I never stayed anywhere longer than 2 years, and it was usually much shorter than that. And relationships, kind of same thing. Although I had kind of some long-term relationships, but I was always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of vibe, like what's my escape plan? Not good. So it's taken a long time, and luckily my husband now, this just speaks to that too. Like, engaged 12 years before we got married, something like that. Was it 12, 11 or 12? And obviously I trusted him deeply, and it still took that long. And not that marriage is like the ultimate sign of a trust, that's not it at all. I just respected, that that's really what he wanted. And me, I don't need a piece of paper, but there is something deeply settling about being married now. So it has done something for me that I did not expect. So familiarity with safety, I don't know if so now, like, I guess I kind of understand that it's this familiarity. Just because it's familiar, it feels safe. And I think that's why a lot of people probably stay in bad relationships. It's like, and I was talking with somebody about this the other day, like they know this person is not great for them, and yet there's this draw toward them. And we didn't talk about familiarity, but there might be some of that there. It's like the familiar. So I can't speak about their situation. It's not mine. And even though we spoke about it, I still don't know all, like, how they, what it really is for them. I only know from what I've heard. And it's, so there might be some of that with relationships. I think probably in the past I stayed longer in some relationships, or got into them because, like, I was familiar with the person, and it kind of led into something deeper that I thought maybe this is safety. Maybe. So maybe there was some confusion about that. Now I'm trying to think in present day, like, is there anywhere even outside of relationships, that I confuse familiarity with safety? I think it's that whole, like, like getting your comfort zone, and that whole, like, being drawn out of a comfort zone. Like, there's a reason it's called a comfort zone. Like, it's very comfortable in the familiarity, but it doesn't necessarily mean it truly is safe. There's just comfort in the devil you know. I mean, that's where that phrase comes from too. Comfort zone, the devil you know. Sometimes that can be confused, I think, because the unknown is like scary. It can be. I always thought in my story was, oh, the story I tell myself is like it's more exciting. The unknown, like what could happen? It's all possibility. And yet there was probably some element of like confusing familiarity with unsafety just from my own history. So it's like anything's better than the familiar. Like it's way less risky out there in the unknown than with with what I know, for sure. So I think it can go both ways. You can look at it from both angles depending on what your story is. So I don't know if there's anything else to really dig into here other than, yeah, it's like the reason we have those phrases, the devil, you know, your comfort zone. It's like, why what is it in us that feels like it's like too scary in the unknown? What is so wrong with not knowing and with uncertainty? You know, what is that in us? It must go back to some deep biological thing with like, back when we were in tribes, and like our early history of like forming collectives. And it's like, it's way safer in all of this mess and all of our dynamics that we're used to, because outside of this is like really life-threatening stuff, like monsters, like creatures could like devour us in the night. But if we have a tribe, we stick together, then who cares what dysfunctions are within, because it's like it's safe. It's not life or death stuff. But outside of like, if I'm on my own, it's harder to survive, both just from finding food and predators and all of that. So maybe it goes back to that. And it's like, who was the first tribal person to like branch out and say, see ya, suckers, I'm gonna go into the unknown because y'all be nuts. And I think it's more peaceful out there. It's more exciting too. Like who maybe said that way back when? I doubt it went like that, but it would be funny if it did. Oh my God. Okay, so I gotta go. This guy's needing some cuddles.